kind of a sad video, so trigger warning. I'm going to talk about pregnancy loss. So it's kind of a sad video. So if you don't want to hear about that, or TMI stuff, or miscarriage, or any of that, then this is the warning. I'm going to try to do a video, but I have my youngest with me that's 15 months, and he hates car rides. So I'm hoping he'll fall asleep because it's his nap time. But yeah, he hates car rides, so we'll see. So I had a miscarriage, and I thought that I would do a video because whenever I was going through my miscarriage, I tried to find videos on it from like people that had just recently experienced it so that I could see like what they went through and what they basically, you're set with 3 options when you have a miscarriage, right? And I wanted to see what each person went through, you know, depending on which option they picked. And I'm speeding. Slow down. Okay, so which option they picked and like how it went, you know, what they went through, how it affected them mentally, emotionally, like physically, all of the things. And I couldn't really find a whole lot of videos. You know, it's really weird that this car has been following me. I'm in the middle of nowhere. Like, so for a car to be followed, just happen to be going the same way as me, is just really rare when you're in the middle of nowhere. But what was I saying? Oh, I couldn't find very many videos, so. But I don't know. So here's my story. Really? You don't say. So I found out that I was pregnant on February 9th. Yeah. February 9th, I found out that I was pregnant, right? I took a pregnancy test because my period was like supposed to start on the 8th or the 5th, and it didn't. So I took a pregnancy test, and it was positive. So I scheduled an appointment, and I went in for that appointment it was like 3 weeks later, whenever I was supposed to be 8 weeks. Okay, so the whole time thing is going to be iffy because all of these weeks just kind of blurred, and it, like, I didn't even know what day it was half the time. I couldn't think, I couldn't focus, I couldn't think about anything. Like, I was in robotic survival mode, right? So the dates are going to be iffy. I remember that I had my previous period, the first day of it was January 5th. And I remember that because me and my kids went on vacation on February 6th. So when I had my period on January 5th, because before that I was not keeping track of my periods, I was concerned that I would start it on February 6th when I was going to be going on vacation. And we were going to a water park, so that would have sucked. So that's the only reason why I knew that I started it January 5th, right? So whenever I went on the vacation, I brought like tampons and all that stuff, but I never ended up starting. So whenever I came back the next day, I took a test. It was positive. So 3 weeks later, I went to the doctor, or like, I don't even know how long later, but I know that I should have been 8 weeks. They did an ultrasound, and they said I was 6 weeks and 6 days. And I was like, I should be 8 weeks based off my period. And she was like, oh, well, you could be wrong. No, I wasn't wrong. But I was like, you know, I could have ovulated late or whatever, you know. So it's fine. well, the baby looked fine, the heart rate looked fine, everything looked fine. She said I was good. So she told me to come back at 10 weeks to do the blood work and the blood tests and all that stuff, right? Oh my God, I'm speeding again. Why is this so easy to speed when you're the only car on the road, other than this car that's following me? You're the only car on the road in the middle of nowhere. Why is this so easy to speed? I don't know. Okay, I'm back down. So I came back, and I felt fine. Like, I mean, I felt terrible, but I felt like you're supposed to when you're pregnant. I felt super duper tired, and really, buddy? Are you joining in the video? I felt super tired, super nauseous, like food aversion, crazy food aversion. Like nothing sounded good ever at all. So yeah, I had all of that. So I went back whenever I was supposed to be 10 weeks for the blood draw and an ultrasound. And she started doing the ultrasound. I asked her if I could record it. She said yes. And so I was recording it, but I deleted the video. As soon as she stuck the ultrasound on my stomach, the baby was a lot smaller than I was expecting it to be. And I was like, oh, it's like really small. It's like hiding down in there or something. I said something like that. And so she was doing the ultrasound a little bit. She was trying to get a measurement. And the baby was measuring. What, baby? What's the matter? The baby was measuring 8 weeks and 2 days or something like that. So she was like, she asked me if I had any cramping or any bleeding, and I said no. And she said that she asked me how I've been feeling, and I told her I've been feeling terrible. You know, I'm super tired. I can't eat anything. I'm really nauseous. My boobs hurt. So I assumed everything was okay, you know? And this was also like new to me. I've never had a miscarriage before. Aren't you tired, dude? Aren't you tired? I've never had a miscarriage before. All of my babies were completely healthy, born full term. Like, I've never had any complications other than one of mine, his kidney was a little bit too big, but it was fine. It turned out fine in the end. So she asked if I'd had any cramping or bleeding, and I said no. And she asked how I was feeling. She said she wanted to switch to a transvaginal ultrasound to get a better look, so we did. And the baby was still measuring like 8 weeks, and I did not see the flickering on the screen. The little heartbeat looks like a flicker. Like you can see the 2 chambers kind of alternating, and it looks like or the 4 chambers. But they like go like this. So it's like a little flicker on the screen. I did not see that. And the baby wasn't moving at all. Usually at 10 weeks, my babies are bouncing around, little arms and legs are wiggling. It was still too small, and it just, she was trying to find the heartbeat, and she couldn't find the heartbeat. And then she switched the computer to where it would show blood flow, and there was no blood flow to the baby. And so she said the baby had passed like 2 weeks before. And I said, well, why do I still feel like crap? You know, I started bawling. I started crying. And I was like, what am I supposed to do? Like, what am I supposed to do with my kids? I had already told my kids. They were all super excited. My one kid took the ultrasound picture and took it to school and was showing all of her friends and her teachers, and now I had to go home and tell them that the baby died. The baby just died. And she has to go to school and tell all of our friends that the baby died. That I was like freaking out. And she was amazing though. She let me freak out. She let me cry for a while. And then she told me to go home and adjust to the news, and then I could come back and get another ultrasound to confirm it, because she said some people just need to see it twice, and then we would talk. And so I went home. I was devastated. I was not ready to tell my kids yet, so I did not tell them that day. But my oldest did see something was off. They did assume something was off. She kept asking me what was wrong. So I did finally tell her. She was devastated, heartbroken. And then I told my other kids, basically one by one, over the following few days. My 4-year-old was very difficult because she didn't really understand. She actually went and got her toy stethoscope. Or no. It was my ultrasound machine. I have one of those fetal Dopplers. She did it with her stethoscope too later. But the first time she did it was with my fetal Doppler. I had it in my room, put up next to the changing table, because I was waiting until the baby got bigger so I could hear it. She went in there and got it, and she came out, she turned it on, she stuck it on my belly, and she said, "See, Mama, there is a heartbeat. Its heart didn't stop." So that was very sad and heartbreaking. She did that again a few weeks later with her little toy stethoscope. So she still has made a couple comments here and there that the baby's still in there and the baby's okay. So she doesn't fully understand. And then I went back 4 days later and got a repeat transvaginal ultrasound. It was still no heartbeat, no nothing. I said a prayer. I was praying that, by some miracle it would just be fine. And it was a mistake. But I made myself look at the screen and see it one last time and get pictures, because this was the last time I was going to get to see it, right? Then she asked me about my options. If I wanted to wait until it came out. Oh, by the way, the following day after this doctor's appointment, I woke up and I felt completely fine. No more pregnancy symptoms. So that was really sad and heartbreaking. And fast forward back to the appointment. So, yeah, she said I could wait it out, wait till my body does it. I could take these pills that will make my body flush it out, or I can get the DNC. I did not want to wait it out. I wanted it out. It's probably going to sound terrible, but I wanted it out. I wanted it done and over with. Walking around with it inside of me, no longer alive, was really messing with my head. So I really wanted it out and done and over with. I did not want to get the DNC though. I did not want to be in the hospital for hours. My kid's dad couldn't miss work, so I couldn't be in the hospital for hours, right? And the whole vacuuming it out just kind of was icky to me. So I didn't want to do that either. So, plus there's like risks with scarring on your uterus and stuff like that. So I chose to take the pills. So she gave me 8 pills. She told me to take 4, and 3 days later I would come back for an ultrasound. If it was still in there, I'd take the other 4. So I went home. She said it could be like 6 to 8 hours before it started working. So I went home. My thing was I was going to take the pills, start cleaning, get dinner started, and then I would be in pain for the evening, or for the night, right? Well, I took the pills, and it was like 20 minutes later, and I was in pain. So it was very painful, very bad cramps. I had to sit with a heating pad on my stomach. This is TMI, to pre-warn you. So it caused really bad diarrhea, really bad bleeding. I don't know if that's normal with a miscarriage. I've never had one before, or if that was the pills, but it caused really bad bleeding, really bad blood clots. My stomach hurt really bad. I don't know. It was bad. But it only lasted about like 4 hours, and then the bleeding slowed down. The cramps completely stopped altogether, and by the next day my bleeding was gone. And so I went in 3 days after that, and she asked how it went, and I told her, and she said she didn't think it worked because I would still be bleeding. We did an ultrasound, and the baby was still in there, so it hadn't worked. So I had to go home, take the pills again. Excruciating pain, lots of bleeding, lots of blood clots, but this time it worked. I continued to bleed the next day. I continued to bleed for the next week, like massive blood clots, lots of blood. It was like on the Wednesday. So I took the pills for the second time on a Friday. It was on the following Wednesday, I was bleeding really bad, like going through, like having to change my pad like 4 or 5 times in an hour, and massive blood clots. So I called the midwife's nurse, because my midwife was on vacation that week. So I called her nurse, and she said that it was fine as long as I didn't feel dizzy. But then later that day, it got worse. Like, I had to take my daughter to this doctor's appointment, and it was so bad. I kept having to run to the bathroom. So I called back, and I was like, I want this message to go to whatever OB is available, because my midwife was on vacation. And I explained what was happening, and they called me back and told me I needed to go to the ER. So I was like, right now, because it's not a very good time. And they said I needed to go to the ER right then, so I did. Turns out, and I was just gushing blood everywhere. It was super annoying, but I mean embarrassing. It was like really embarrassing, but I don't know why I said annoying. It was just like it was this reminder. Like, I couldn't get away from it. I couldn't get away from the fact that my baby died and I lost it. It was just this reminder, because I'm just gushing blood everywhere I walk. But I went to the ER. They said that I had a piece of tissue stuck in my cervix, and my body was trying to flush it out, and it couldn't get it out. So that's why I was gushing blood so much. So they got it out, which I was really nervous about, but it actually wasn't as bad as it sounds like it would be. It wasn't too bad. So they got it out, and it was a lot better after that. Like, by the next day, my bleeding was like a light period. So it was a lot better after that. And then I went, and I got blood work done once a week until my levels were down to 0. And I want to say I got blood work like 4 times. I think 4 times. I got blood work 4 times, and before my levels were down. Well, they were down to a 2, but they said that they consider that 0, and it's pretty much negative. And I was like, oh, I mean, it's 2 isn't 0, and it's not negative, but I did not understand that. But I was just like, okay, if you say so. So they said I was done, and that I should start a period soon. So yeah, that's my story. It was terrible, and I hope to never ever experience it again. It was awful, and now I don't really know what to do. You know, do I say that I have 9 kids? Do I say that I have 8 kids? Do I say that I have 8 kids and 1 in heaven? Like, I don't really know what I'm supposed to say now. There's a massive tractor. See? I guess you can't see it. So, I don't know. I'm doing a lot better now. I was a wreck. I was a wreck when it was happening. I couldn't function. I barely cooked. I barely cleaned. I barely did anything. It was very difficult to even get out of bed. And the only reason I did is because I have other kids to take care of. I was a wreck. But after it was done and over with, and the doctors told me that I was done and that I was out of 2 and I was done, it helped a lot. So I'm doing better now. And if you're going through this, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry that you're going through this. And you will make it, and it will get better. It will get easier. Even when it feels like it won't. Like, I promise, it will get easier. You'll come out the other side, and you're not alone. It happens. I think it's like 1 in 4 women go through it. So you're not alone. Yeah, that's my story. So I'm going to end that here because now I'm home. Pretty sure he fell asleep, so I'm probably going to sit in the car and wait for him to wake up. Maybe I'll clean my car out. I don't know. So, but yeah, that's my story. You guys have a good night, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.